spell it for you. D-U-M-M-Y, period. Like, oh.
You ain't nothing but a big dummy. Big dummy. You ain't nothing but a big dummy. God, you a big dummy. Ain't nothing but a big dummy. Big dummy. Nothing but a big dummy. Look, big dummy. Don't be a dummy, get your bitch ass shot and fuck around and catch something when I spin that block. In real life, I ain't got no options, cause I done already slid and came out on top. Bitch, blow something, let them hoes know something. I'm from Shooterville where it ain't no front. Big bigs, came up on the big lick. Threw him out the whip cause he always on some bitch shit. And I threw a couple switches on the one thing. Niggas came to scrap, man, I came for the gunplay. Fuck a black belt, this bitch gon' kick back. Put a little extra sauce on this Big Mac. Flip shit like a motherfucker spatula. One wrong move, watch your body get to racking up. Think he tough cause he got his face tatted up. Still on these bitch niggas' neck like Dracula. You ain't nothing but a big dummy. Big dummy. You ain't nothing but a big dummy. God, you a big dummy. Ain't nothing but a big dummy. Big dummy. Nothing but a big dummy. I ain't about to play with nan one of these guys. All they gotta do is call if you want a surprise. I'll pop up on a nigga like Jack in the Box. And if the shit don't work, then it's back to the block. Said fuck the AR, went back to the chop. Fuck the HK, went back to the Glock. Still with the shits like I'm back on the pot. Touchdown in your city like I'm trafficking blocks. Blue tips for the loose lips, hoes in your cool shit. Niggas talk crazy, but they ain't gon' do shit. Cry wolf till we pull up with that new shit. With the green beam looking like a moon mist. I lay a nigga down like a pallet. Always in the cut, ain't no catching me in traffic. Finger on the trigger and this bitch is automatic. And I always been a giver, I'll let a nigga have it on the gang. You ain't nothing but a big dummy. Big dummy. You ain't nothing but a big dummy. God, you a big dummy. Ain't nothing but a big dummy. Big dummy. Nothing but a big dummy.
The only reason I call you a dummy is because I call them as I see them. Like, oh. Dummy.
See, the first problem was you tried to take my kindness for weakness. Took me for granted, not knowing all the while I was letting you dig a deep hole for yourself. See, you just a taker, not a giver. So it's time for me to see, be gone. Cause you got me fucked up. 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 You come up in my crib and you smoke up all my weed. You dented up my ride and still ask me for the keys. I let you use my credit card for some emergency. And now you got excuses about why you can't pay the fees. You always need a handout every time you come around. Take shits up in my toilet and you never flush it down. Try to holler at my girl when I was working out of town. Now I gotta cut you loose cause you be stepping out of bounds. You got me fucked up. 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 Now baby doll, here we are chilling on the third date. And it's obvious to me that you ain't giving me no play. You've been scrolling through your phone pretty much throughout the day. Now I think it's only fair that you should pay for what you ate. Nah, don't look surprised like you didn't have a clue. You probably running this game on at least a dozen dudes talking about get my head down, take me on a cruise. Time to split, that's what you get for trying to play me for a fool. You got me fucked up. Got me fucked up. Got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. Got me fucked up. I'm telling you. It's Rizzo, baby. Got me fucked up.
Salute, and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now swimming deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Oh, yes, we are back with another installment of Children of the Chalk. Got to talk about these Alabaster criminals running wild over here. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, ladies and gentlemen. And before I get underway, give your brother a black fist or thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. Am I coming in too loud, too low, just right? Let me know if you can hear me. Because we have to talk about some very important things here tonight. And yes, I definitely am going to address the situation about our young brother there, Nolan Xavier Wells, who was only 18 years old. Oh, family. Family, I really, one of the things I hate doing, many years I've been, hosting this platform, is covering the stories where things happen to our young ones that have really just started living. I mean, 18, for those that are my age and older, that's, we look at that, that's just a baby. You just started living, very tragic. So first and foremost, my condolences go out to his family and his loved ones, but we're going to definitely have to talk about that here tonight. And everything else we're going to talk about is going to be a reminder that these are some degenerate savages as far as the dominant society, and most of them in this country are white supremacists, and I make no apologies for saying that. History bears me out on that particular fact. Oh, they are mad with me on X. Oh, they mad. Y'all probably, if you follow me on X, you probably know what I'm talking about, because I posted a blast from the past to remind you, because, I keep archives on all of their degeneracy. And, I posted on X, very last tweet I posted before, announcing I was going live here tonight. I showed them how they teach their demonic spawn white supremacy early, and once you poison a child with that, they are rotten. There is no undoing that. You don't rehabilitate that. You see, when I tell you that they pass racism and white supremacy down like a family heirloom, that clip on X, which I really can't show here on YouTube because it's a kid, but I had to post it on X. And for those of you that are wondering, I may post it again on Patreon so that you all can see it after this broadcast. But it's basically an encounter. I won a little Alabaster spawn demon. And, the sister was recording, and the sister had her kids out on the playground. A little white girl come up there and she used the N-word. And instead of, getting angry or whatever, the mother, the black mother's sister recorded and was asking her questions about where did she learn how to say that? What does it mean? Why did she call? She called a little black baby this. Now, this little girl had to be about 6 or 7 at the time of this clip. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it was a very eye-opening experience. All the white supremacists are mad, boy. They explain it. Look, let me tell y'all something about that, because everybody that's my day ones, you already know my rule on X about that. I tell y'all that one of the most powerful things you can do on X is instead of going back and forth with the white supremacists, because some people like to do that, they think they got something to prove, you simply block them and keep talking to other black people. Because you notice I never respond to them. It's not that I can't. It's like that's not who I'm talking to. So, they come over there with the trolling. All you're going to do is just get your comment removed and blocked. That's all I do. I demoralize them like that. See, sometimes they try to bait our brothers and sisters, particularly the sisters, to get you to go back and forth with them and waste your time and your emotional energy arguing with them. But see, this is the way I see it. Now, everybody else does it different, but I've said this before. I'm going to reiterate it here again tonight. Time is the most precious, non-renewable resource that any human being has. And your emotional energy is also precious, okay? Be careful where you spend either one, okay? Because you can't get that back, all right? So consider that when you're thinking about going back and forth with these white supremacists on social media. For what? They're degenerates. You're not going to get anything out of that. The mere fact that they respond the way they do is just proof that they're irredeemable, like I've always said. So keep that in mind. Now, Without further ado, let me scroll up and greet those of you that are my esteemed guests in the building that I see here joining us here tonight. I see the vegan kitchen queen, Miss Ebony Dean, in the building. The sister Cammy is over here. Okay. 666 Tony in the building. 666 Tony. All right. Tanisha Murdoch, 225 girl, ATL underscore 007. My brother, Mr. Sam, is in the building. What's going on, Mr. Sam? I see Big Dad Zilla in here. Okay. Oh, it's a hell of a name, brother. What's going on? I see Kyle Smith in here. Let's see. Charles Gibson. I see Reverse Still D Young BA. Okay, what's going on, family? All right, Mac Maroon is in here. Mickey Briggs is in here. All right, I see Ann McIntyre joining us. Sister Brooke is in the house. What's going on, Sister Brooke? Y'all subscribe to Sister Brooke. Drop your channel in here, Sister Brooke. Anytime you come in my chat room, feel free to drop your channel in here. We got to get that sister's numbers up over there, man. She does great work up there in New York. No, that's our New York sister holding it down up there, man. No, so we got our voices in here like that. We got to amplify them, family. If y'all like my content, you'll love Sister Brooke, okay? These boots on the ground with it and 100% on code. I see Miss L in the building. Let's see. Charlie X, I see you. Let's see. I think that's everybody. Okay. Okay. Your new channel won't let you comment. If you come in on your new channel, you know what I'm saying, oh, that's right. I forgot I have it set like that for those trolls. Yeah, I'll give y'all some game too for if y'all ever have trouble with trolls. On my channel, I have like, a 7-day waiting period so they can't comment. So if they're going to try to comment, they got to sub to try to do it. And then by the time they do it, y'all know the mod squad over here, you bow. Tune them up like mechanics. Oh, they hate me for that. That's why you don't really ever see them over here. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little game for people with new channels. If you want to slow that trolling down, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't even let them pay the troll. No, I don't even let them pay the troll at all. And I'm going to tell y'all why I don't even let them pay the troll, right? Because to me, it's just my philosophy. If we're congregated anywhere, online or offline, to talk to each other about whatever affairs we're talking about, they don't have zero input. They don't have anything to say. I mean, there's no input that they have that's important in my view. So that's why I'm strict like that. I don't want to joke with them. I don't want to hear from them. I already know what they got going on. So for me, I have no interest in conversing with them anyway, at all. So that's just why I do things the way I do. But anyway, family, let me go ahead and address, the first thing here. I hate to do it. Need to talk to y'all about this situation with our brother, Nolan Xavier Wells, only 18. He's the brother right there in the picture. Oh, I hate this, man. Now, let's go over a couple of facts. What I understand, he is a biracial brother. Father is black. I'm not sure if he's FBA or not. Mother is Asian, and from what I understand, he was raised with his Asian mother. I'm using this to teach a lesson that we all should know, not to mock anybody or find fault with anyone. But I have to state the truth and use these things to teach and warn my people for your safety. Most of you over here at the FBA, and if you over here and you non-FBA, I know you on code. Y'all already know this, but I have to say it nonetheless. First, let me give an admonition to my brothers. They talk to you. I understand grown people are going to do what they want to do. I understand that you're going to go wherever you want to go, deal with whoever you want to deal with. But let me explain something to you. You go get a woman outside of our culture and you decide to procreate with them. And I'm saying this to the sisters as well. Black men and black women, but I'm addressing the men first. Make sure that that's a woman you're going to start a family with and stay with. Because in America, we already know that 9 times out of 10, y'all go your separate ways. Whether you married or not, the child is going with the mother, unless it's some type of extenuating circumstances where, that mother is unfit. The child is going with the mother. So now why that's important is you want to make sure that your child is raised with the foundational Black American survival instinct. And we all know that our parents, one common denominator about our culture, you don't go to them folks' house or go with them where we the only Black person. I mean, not just a Southern thing. It's all over. From what I see, this is a no-no. And you definitely don't go anywhere away from civilization with them out on the water or somewhere where you the only person. Absolutely not. The other fact that a lot of people are talking about, yes, I understand that the young brother had a white girlfriend. That's another thing. Excuse me. Let me get a swig of this water. Hold on. I hate to talk about this stuff because it bothers me, man. Yes, he had a white girlfriend. That's another thing. And let me just say this again. I'm talking to Black men and Black women. You're having children with these people. If they going with that person that's not Black from our lineage, it does a disservice to them because, yes, in America, sure, we know his parentage is biracial, but he's going to be seen as Black here. That's how he's going to be treated. Okay. And we raise our children with a survival instinct. Sure, we teach them to be courteous to everybody, be polite, get along, but you have to teach them the rules about racism and white supremacy, or you're leaving your child vulnerable. And I guarantee you, an Asian mother is not going to do that. Okay. It wouldn't matter whether it's the mother that's not of our lineage or if the father's not of our lineage. They're going to raise that child to pretty much think in terms of we're all one race, the human race. Now, that's a true statement on its face, but what have I told y'all about that statement? That doesn't work if you're the only person believing in it. You know what I'm saying? That does not work if you're the only person believing in that. You may think that, but these white supremacists do not. Okay? And I guarantee you, not to speak disparagingly of this young brother, that's not what I'm doing. I guarantee you, you know what I'm saying, if you met him, being that he was so comfortable hanging with them folks like that, it starts at home. His parents did, right? And then he's probably was the type of young brother where, he probably was not talked to about these types of things because, see, this is a danger that we have to even warn full-blooded foundational Black American children about. Just because this is the most integrated generation you've ever seen, it does not mean that racism and white supremacy is not still a part of America's social fabric. Case in point, look how they all reacted to the verdict with our young brother Carmelo Anthony. These are not old, decrepit white supremacists acting this way. This is why they were so mad at me on X for sharing that video footage, busting them out in 4K, showing how they teach their children anti-Black racism. Now, you got to understand something. Let me get deep with this. I'm going to go somewhere that's going to be uncomfortable for most Black people, but I have to do it nonetheless, so I wouldn't be doing my job on this platform. We're going to talk about what happened, because I'm just going to say it. This young brother was murdered by these white supremacist Neanderthals. Yes, he was. I ain't alleged nothing. Fuck that. He was murdered, and I'm going to prove it here in a second. Let's have this uncomfortable conversation, though. First of all, it's a hard pill to swallow because we know how we see ourselves as Black people. We see ourselves as human beings that love our family just like everybody else. Greater majority of the dominant society does not see us that way. They don't see us as human beings. They don't see us as equal Americans. They don't see you as an equal classmate. They don't see you as an equal colleague. They don't see you as an equal teammate. They don't see you as an equal service member. They don't see you as an equal nothing. If you hanging with them and you Black, whether you're a boy or a girl, they see you as the novelty Negro. That's what they see you as, somebody to tolerate. Hey, I got a Black friend. And then all of them, this is the really uncomfortable part, but we got to go here. All of them are taught if something happens to this Black person while y'all together, all of y'all cover up for each other and lie about what happened. If y'all do something to them or something happened to them, your lives, your white lives, is what they teach their kids are worth more than theirs. Now, we all heard about the situation where because it's so ridiculous the lie they telling. Okay, they're saying that they thought he caught a ride somewhere else. Now this is down here in Mississippi, off the coast of some island or somewhere. And they always, and that's another thing, you don't never go nowhere if you're the only black person to some little spot they want to go to where all of them go. You don't ever do that. You don't ever do that. Now they claim that, you know, he caught a ride with somewhere else on a damn island. With who? What you mean? You know what I'm saying? So then they took his phone, and I guarantee you, here's another uncomfortable thing. Don't you know that their parents have trained them that if something like that happened, that they all stick together? And they probably took that phone for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They probably took that phone for a reason. Think about it. He gone, but you got his phone. What sense do that make? Oh, all the nonsense, man. We already know that don't make no sense. So look, this is what I'm gonna do, family. I'm gonna play something that a lot of you probably have seen going around. And I want you to listen to this. I hope this plays clearly. If not, let me know and we'll try to readjust it here. But listen to everything they're saying and you tell me if you don't think everything I just said was plausible. Check this out.
These are Nolan Wells' friends that didn't remember anything, but they remembered to deactivate every single social media account that they have. Them, his girlfriend, their parents, all the accounts deactivated and wiped clean. All of them. Jax, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, Morgan, jail. Jail for everyone. Because you know, they're already circling the wagons. They're already lawyered up. But wait, their parents are doctors, lawyers, and judges. This is the father of one of his friends. And this is the stepmama, Ashley Cole. Court judge for Jackson, George, and Greene counties in the beautiful state of Mississippi has already deactivated her account. Deactivated all the accounts, and they have all unfollowed Nolan. And this is Katie, who is either a friend, close friend, or girlfriend, who is supposedly, allegedly cooperating with authorities because all the other friends are lawyered up and circling the wagons and not helpful and not talking. The doctors and the lawyers and the judges' parents of these 5 have said that they would like privacy, please, at this time. But you know what? Name them publicly. No privacy and no peace for Eli, also known as Jax, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, and Morgan. What happened to Nolan? What did you do to Nolan? His phone came back safe, but he didn't? Why were y'all arguing just minutes before he was reported missing? And y'all were continuing to party late into the evening. Other boats that were docked and parked next to yours saw y'all. But Nolan was missing. We're gonna find out. The truth shall come to light.
Now, y'all heard that unfortunate news right there, okay? Because, you know, in the digital era, things move very fast. And it's good that people caught that information. But I have to say something, and I have to say it unfortunately. It's not going to be any justice in this case. I'm just going to tell you that right now because there's too many factors in play. And this is why when we say systematic white supremacy, this is what we're talking about. A lot of the people, you know, these boys' parents are well-connected, lawyers, judges. Sure, the truth may come out, but they're not going to punish these kids. They're not. These little demons, I can't call them kids. They're not. Because that's how they act when they get ready to cover up something. All of them done deleted their social media, got attorneys. It ain't going to be no justice through the system for this young brother. I'll say that. It's not. Because, see, I guarantee you that they're going to do a half-ass investigation, if any. What you think they got that phone for? They was probably deleting the conversations, but they was arguing or whatever, because I don't know if the argument was by text or in person. I heard that he was arguing with him. But no, you don't do that. You definitely don't go nowhere alone with them. But if you get into an argument with him, see, in other words, and again, this is not to disparage this young brother in death, may he rest in power. But in his mind, he probably figured, okay, we just buddies, we argue sometime. No, they looking at you like you a nigga. You ain't one of us. You not having see that if you a person that has a biracial child that's black in America, they consider all black, okay? So if you are a white woman, an Asian woman, an East Indian Arab woman, whatever, and you actually love your child, you better listen to the broadcast. They don't see your child as human. He's black here. And you better raise him that way. Hopefully you with that black parent, and that black parent, that's their job to instill that. Okay? Nah, you don't go nowhere with them. You done had no argument and then he was dating a white girl too. Listen, let me talk to Gen Z. I know this is going to be hard for y'all to understand, but don't just listen to me as Unc, okay? Because y'all be like, oh, that was y'all time. No, it's in your time. Because when you think about the Richard Spencers, the Jake Lanes, whoever you want to name, these are not old, decrepit white men. These are young white men carrying on racism and white supremacy. Look how many times this has happened to a black person, okay? A black person go out with a bunch of white people and then the black person don't come back. You ain't never seen no case in America where no white person go out with a group of us and they don't come back. Because you already know how that would go. Nobody would tolerate that. You understand, family? So Gen Z, even though this is the most integrated generation we've ever seen in American history, you too are still facing racism and white supremacy. It's because, look, let me talk to Gen Z. I'm pleading with you as your brother. If you're going to consider me Unc, listen to me. I want you to stay alive, okay? Just because your white buddies or non-black buddies have similar interests to you as far as mostly music, entertainment, you might play sports together, etc., etc. That does not mean that they see you as an equal or as a human being. It's because they may not have never called you nigga to your face. Their parents have taught them. And if something happened to one of y'all, let's just say it was no foul play. Let's just say something happened to the brother. He hit his head or whatever, whether it was on a boat or whatever, man, they'll leave you out there, man. They won't try to help save your life or get you back because they're more worried about, oh, we're going to get in trouble. You better believe that their parents have taught them, don't you? Hey, that nigga ain't worth y'all life. Y'all stay together. You come back to us, we'll fix it from there. I know these are ugly things and hard things to grasp, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm never going to sugarcoat anything when it comes to the protection of my people. Now, let me give you some advice. Say there's a situation where you do have to be around them like that. You better make sure you keep at least one or two things on you that you can defend yourself with. Now, you know what? Let me do this over here tonight. Hold on. Let me do this. All right. Let me see here. I'm not going to say the name of the thing. Okay. Not going to say the name of the thing. I'm going to put one thing in the chat room. Okay. I'm going to put one thing in the chat room that you all have better learn to get. Okay. Some things like this. Now, these right here, I suggest all sisters in the chat room get this. I don't usually do this. I'm not going to name it. Just follow the link. You'll see what I'm talking about. Put this in the chat room 3 times. You better keep some things that are on your person to defend yourself. I'm going to say that. Some things that you can carry with you anywhere. Those right there, those will get the job done. And I recommend all sisters keep a pair of them in your purse anyway, just in case. But there are other things you need to keep on your person. So just in case you need to, put it where they can understand it, it gives you a fighting chance and equal the odds. Because when you outnumbered, you do not fight fair. You fight to get back home to your family. And in this situation, the environment counts for a lot too, because you're in a remote place. So yeah, that's something you really never want to do. Even if you defend yourself, it's like, how you gonna get back? It ain't no other black people around you. You should always be uncomfortable enough to never put yourself in that situation. But then again, we can't fault this young brother because he was probably most likely never taught this. And we know he wasn't because look how comfortable he is with him in this picture. See, he probably would have never thought in his wildest dreams, even if they had a verbal argument, that they would do something to me. He probably really saw them. These are my friends. They probably have been over to this boy house and they, just like that rat Eddie, that low-life slime in the Carmelo Anthony trial. Carmelo probably really thought that was his friend. But no, I'm here to tell you, do not err on the side of caution with these damn demons, okay? So if you got to be around them, you keep something on you to get yourself back to safety. All right. Preferably, it's something that's gonna do a lot of damage and it's small and compact. All right, that's about as far as I'll go into detail on that. I go into further detail about them things on Patreon, but that right there, ladies, you better bookmark that link. Y'all need to get that. Fellas, get some of those for your ladies, okay? Trust me. Y'all see what they are, all right? So, yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I may come back and address this again as more information comes out, but I hate to see it. It's just the way everything's set up now. I'm not expecting no justice from the system in this case because the system is working like it's intended to, and it's not to protect us. We produce our own justice, and we protect us, okay? So black parents, please have these conversations with your children because everything else I'm about to show you tonight is going to remind you why these are degenerate, low-life, irredeemable criminals. All these stories I'm about to show you, family, yo, pay attention, all right? Because when I tell you that they're irredeemable, when I talk the way I talk, I go places where most people won't. I'm not trying to be the socially erudite or the politically correct person. I don't believe in doing that. I just think that's an irresponsible way to give a message. No disrespect to anybody else that chooses to do that. But when it comes to the safety and protection of my people, I'm going to give it to you straight, okay? You need real information that you can use and you need to be talked to straight without the sugarcoating, okay? So all these stories right here are going to be nothing but proof about why I tell you to stay away from these damn degenerates. Let's get into them.
The story you'll only see here on WCTV. A former chief deputy at the Thomas County Sheriff's Office accused of trading department guns to support his drug addiction. We learned about that today through an open records request. Our Julia Miller talked with the sheriff today and has more details from Thomasville.
Sheriff Tim Watkins tells me he's concerned this happened in the first place. He says they're now taking steps to make sure something like this doesn't happen again.
We found a problem, we addressed the problem, and it's been taken care of. We've taken steps to make sure it doesn't happen again in the future.
Thomas County Sheriff Tim Watkins speaking out for the first time after former Chief Deputy Ron James was arrested last month on allegations that he stole multiple TCSO guns. And after a video was found of James using what appears to be an illegal smoking device.
One of our narcotics agents actually found a video of him by mistake. And I asked him point blank, was he going to test positive for any foreign illegal substances? He said no.
Let me pause this story right here. We warn y'all about these race soldiers. Myself and many others have told y'all that besides psychological and mental disorders, a lot of these people are drug addicts, man. They own all kinds of narcotics. So when they out here harassing us, even if you're doing everything right, you never know when you're going to run across one of these. One of these kinds of junkies here, like they talking about, and they always involved in some type of illegal activity. That thin blue wall they talking about is a thick white wall. Even if you're a black person like this brother here with that uniform on, they're not going to cover for you the same way they cover for each other in their criminal degenerate activity. Okay? I just didn't want that to be lost upon y'all. So let it continue.
And at that time instructed him to go take a drug test. He admitted to having an addiction to a prescription medication.
WCTV obtained multiple documents Tuesday that reveal additional details from the TCSO investigation, including allegations that James was using methamphetamine and exchanging TCSO firearms in 2018 to support his drug habit. Watkins says the sheriff's office asked the GBI to investigate the matter, which resulted in James being charged with 9 counts of theft by taking and 1 count of violation of oath of office.
He was trusted by everyone here. He was definitely trusted by the previous sheriff. He was a senior captain at that time. That's why I made him a chief deputy. No one had any idea what he had been doing.
Now, Sheriff Watkins says they've asked the county to purchase a quartermaster program that will track and secure all weapons going forward.
I requested to the foundation board to purchase that software so we'll be able to track and in the future to make sure that all weapons are secured. All property belonging to the Thomas County Sheriff's Office will be secured in the future.
Sheriff Watkins says he does not believe James was working a case or carrying a weapon during any period he may have been impaired. He also says the guns have.
Now, why would you believe that? Now, this Negro here, now, see, that's what get on my nerves. Treat him like you would a black person or like they would a black person. Because if any one of us was on the police department and we got caught doing this, first of all, not only would they not just put you on paid administrative leave, oh no, you're going to be fired and they're going to remove your post certification so that you cannot practice law enforcement nowhere else in that state. All right? But why would you assume that you saying you don't believe he was impaired? Every case that he's ever dealt with, especially dealing with the black people, that need to be revisited. There ain't no telling what all his record looked like as a police officer. Then he's involved in this illegal shit here. You selling illegal guns, stealing guns to sell them to support your damn drug addiction. Now just imagine if he was black doing this, family.
Been returned, and that this case is now working its way through the court system. Reporting in Thomasville, Julia Miller, WCTV Eyewitness News.
And Julia really just scratched the surface with this story. Our team scoured those records that we received today, and we have much more details about this story on our website, WCTV.tv, or on our WCTV News app.
The feds were close.
Now, that's the first case. We not done yet. Oh, man. Oh, this one right here is a doozy, y'all. I want you to listen to this story because, see, again, they always talking about black people and we commit so much crime. But, see, they don't want to talk about the stuff they have going on. And, mind you, even though these stories made mainstream media, they're not going to talk about it the way they would a black person because they'll run that story for weeks on end if it's a black person. If it's one of them, they're forced to report it because it's such a big thing that they've done, but they won't leave it in the news cycle long. I want y'all to pay attention to that, especially if you're a younger black person listening to this channel, okay? Listen to this next case right here.
Closing in, and the key players in a massive criminal corruption scheme were starting to get worried. That's what we're learning from newly unsealed federal documents detailing the FBI's wiretapped phone conversations between APD officers and the law firm they were conspiring with. News 13's Dean Staley is here with those transcripts.
Just the federal transcripts reveal conversations in the weeks leading up to the federal raids on police officers' homes and the office of attorney Thomas Clear III. By then, Clear and those he was working with were already starting to suspect the feds were onto them. It's December 21st, 2023, 1 month before the public would begin to learn of a massive corruption scandal involving attorneys and APD officers conspiring to sabotage DWI cases and pocket bribery money in exchange. One of those attorneys and ringleader of the scheme, Thomas Clear III, was starting to express concern the FBI might be onto them. That's according to federal documents detailing a wiretapped phone conversation between Clear's paralegal, Ricardo Rick Mendez, and Albuquerque police officer Honorio Alba. In the recording, Mendez suggests he doesn't believe the FBI is listening, and Alba agrees, going on to say that if the FBI is listening, that's the least of their concerns. The following month, in January of 2024, the U.S. Attorney's Office informed the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office that 4 APD officers, including Alba, could not be trusted to testify in court. That prompted the state to start dismissing cases that relied on those officers' testimony. January 10th, Alba gets on a call with one of his fellow APD officers, Harvey Johnson, who says there's something fishy going on. According to the transcript, Johnson tells Alba about 2 emails he received informing him 2 of his cases that were supposed to go to trial have been dismissed. In another call a few hours later, Alba assures Johnson there is no reason to worry because a lot of Johnson's other cases are still active. 2 days later, Attorney Clear is caught on the phone with Alba and paralegal Mendez. Clear wants to know what reason prosecutors are giving for dropping the cases, and Alba explains the documents say, quote, in the interest of justice. He notes while it's not necessarily unusual to see cases dismissed, the reason is weird, as well as the prosecutor not wanting to talk about it.
Now, family, imagine if all of these people involved were black. See, when we talk about systematic white supremacy, this is what we mean. The crooked attorney is working with the crooked race soldiers to cover up things. They accept and bribe money. Now, you just think about this. This is the system that we live in here in this country, okay? This is how they all remain on code to work with each other. And see, this is why, even if you're a black person and you join any one of these organizations, these institutions, thinking you're going to make a difference, how? You're not going to make a difference against this because all of them have been there longer than you. A lot of times, most of them are related. And the common denominator, they're all white and they're going to work together against you. Even the so-called brown people that are classified as white. Okay? Oh, y'all ain't heard nothing yet. They just getting warmed up. Listen to the rest of this.
Elba describes Officer Johnson's experience trying to get information from a prosecutor at the DA's office, who reportedly told him they wouldn't get into it with him. That's when Clear says, quote, "I guarantee you they're looking." The group then mulls over the cases they say have been, quote, cherry-picked for dismissal, noting they're all older cases. Clear later wonders aloud, what are they doing? He wants to know if all the DWI unit's cases are being dismissed. Alba replies he's only seen it happen with cases from 3 officers whom we now know were all key players in the scheme. 6 days after that conversation, federal authorities raided the officers' homes, Thomas Clear's law firm, and Rick Mendez's home. 13 people have been charged and pleaded guilty as a result of this 30-year criminal enterprise. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Dean. The documents also reveal the feds had at least 11 witnesses at the time of the wiretaps, helping them piece together the scheme.
Right now to a story.
Now, that had been going on for 30 years there, okay? Again, everybody, especially black people that they arrested or charged or whatever, all of that needs to be revisited. That need to be thrown out. They need to get rid of that entire police department. Hell, we're going to do that. That'll be half the police departments in America, if not all of them. This is the kind of stuff they get away with, but we the criminals? Oh, we just getting started. We got another story for you here. See, they hate it when I cover these children of the chalk stories, okay? They hate it because I show them the worst of the worst. And y'all notice and expect it in advance. Usually when I drop an installment in this series, y'all ever notice my day ones that have been here for this series? Notice how they get to messing with the broadcast? Oh, expect it. They always try to mess with these types of broadcasts because I show them what they really are and what they really look like here in this country. Listen to this next story, family.
That is all new here at 11. Police arrested these 3 deputies for using county camera technology that's designed to help solve crimes, but for personal use. Tonight, they're out of a job. Channel 2's Susan Hendricks live outside the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. So, Susan, I bet neighbors did not see this coming.
Yeah, they really didn't, George. And the residents I spoke to today in Canton on Main Street, just a couple miles away, say they were shocked, but they were happy to hear about the sheriff's swift response.
Very much appreciate them monitoring themselves and protecting the public.
Word that 2 more Cherokee Sheriff's Office supervisors are now facing criminal charges is shocking to Canton residents I spoke with. Lieutenant Chris Bryan of Ackworth and Sergeant Mike Creedon of Cartersville were arrested and booked into the Cherokee County Detention Center. Investigators say they used the county's automated license plate reader system for non-law enforcement purposes. Shannon Collins has lived in Cherokee County for close to 20 years and says while she understands the technology can help law enforcement solve crimes, it also comes with a responsibility to use it properly.
I think there's a cost to giving up our freedoms in that way when you're using technology for those purposes. So I think.
Let me be clear, too. The reason that you're seeing stuff like this happening more often, let me tell you where the beginning of this happened at in this country. You better think back to that Patriot Act. I keep telling people that changed so much. I mean, I broke this down on Patreon. I've shown y'all what Room 641A was, and there's plenty more like that across the country. I can't really go into detail about that on YouTube. If you're on Patreon, you know why. Okay. The Patriot Act changed a lot. Let me just spell it out for you in layman's terms. All privacy that you thought you had or you might have had before that Patriot Act went online, that's gone. That's over with. Oh, that affected every facet of American society. And this is yet another example of it. So I just wanted to point that part out. Listen to what else that they had going on, though, family.
We hope to trust our elected officials.
The sheriff's office says the license plate reader system can help investigators locate vehicles connected to crimes. According to the agency, a series of self-initiated audits uncovered what it described as anomalies involving 3 authorized users of the system. On June 12th, Deputy Cynthia Jodeci was also arrested and fired on similar charges.
Now look how they want to make sure they put the black woman up here. And I guarantee you, before it's all said and done, they'll try to make it like it was all her idea. She was the ringleader. But see, let me take the time to talk about this. If you the Negro that go and call yourself trying to do what the white people do, you better believe the only reason they're letting you in on that is so you can be the foul flunky. And you deserve whatever the fuck you get if you go along with them trying to do things like this to target our people. So I have no sympathy for this motherfucker right here. Let's let it continue.
I'm not against it, but I'm not for abuse of it.
So that gentleman is from France. He's lived in Canton about 4 years and says he appreciates the technology, the surveillance, as you heard, if it's used in the right way. Meanwhile, the sheriff here issuing a statement in part saying they are committed to transparency, professionalism, and ethical standards, and it's still under investigation. Reporting live in Cherokee County, Susan Hendricks, Channel 2 Action News.
And we will wait to see what happens when that investigation is over. Susan, thank you. Let's get some more details right now on camera concerns that we've covered recently in another Metro Atlanta community. We were there in April when Dunwoody approved it.
Now, let me show y'all something else about how the mainstream media reports things, because you see what they did there with that. They showed the black person involved face last. And that wasn't by accident. That was to impress upon you to say, okay, this is the last thing you need to see. Even though it was 2 other white people involved with this now. You see how that works? Television programming. Yeah, they report the story, but how they did it matters. See, let me break it down further, especially for young black people that probably didn't get what I just said. If I want to impress upon you something that I want you to remember, and I'm talking to you about something, the most important thing, or the thing that I really want you to take home, I'm going to show that to you last. And I'm saying, because I know y'all that's my age, you get it. But we have to explain these things to younger black people. So this is often a trick you need to watch in the mainstream media. If any black person is caught up in something with some white people, look out for that from now on if you never thought about it. They're going to make sure that the last thing you see when they're reporting on that is the black person's image, okay? I know that may seem like a small thing, but in this country, they always have to keep that front and center. Blame the black person all the time. Because I'm telling you, if you do something like this with them, they're going to be like, yeah, it was all her idea or his idea, whoever, you know? And like my brothers are saying in that chat room, yes, Cherokee County in Georgia. Yeah, boy, that's one of them places, boy. Yeah, you don't want to fuck around up there, man. Stomp down hardcore white supremacists up there. All right? Them good old boys, especially the damn state patrol, okay? But they not done yet, though, because like I was telling y'all about the Patriot Act, a lot of people need to go back and read that and just see how much of your privacy that took away, all right? In the interest of protecting you, all right? Listen to the rest of this story.
Its camera contract, their $200,000 contract with Flock was renewed. It came with pushback from the community. Neighbors were worried about where their data was going and who had access to it. The city delayed their vote twice before approving the cameras.
A Parker County father is facing a murder charge.
Now, the tail end of that, what they was talking about on cameras, remember on Patreon, I've taught y'all about the hailstorm system and what that does across America. I mean, look, and that's why I try to bring y'all that information, because a lot of people don't know what that is or won't even tell you about it. Huh? In case y'all don't know what hailstorm is, this is in every major city in America. Basically, those are legal law enforcement devices that they will put in different parts of neighborhoods. Guess where they're in the most neighborhoods at? Where it acts like a cell phone tower, but it takes the cell phone signal away from a tower and it diverts it to that hailstorm device, and they can pull all that data out of there. So please, black parents, If you got kids with smartphones and they out here doing stupid stuff, you better warn them. You better warn them. Because I'm telling you, technology has come so much further than most people understand. A lot of young people are familiar with it, but they're not familiar with the cybersecurity end of things and how easily they can track your data. You got an electronic device with geofencing and the way things work today, you can be found. And with forensics, hey man, I'm telling you, there's no such thing as deleting anything today, okay? No such thing. You believe that if you want to. Not on social media, not on your phones, not on computers. Now, there is a way to completely burn the data off of something, but I don't like to give those types of details on this public YouTube channel. If you're on Patreon and you know what that is, I won't repeat it here tonight. But just know the average person isn't aware of how to do that. All right? So talk to your kids and make sure they're not doing silly things on these electronic devices, all right? And if you out there in the streets, if you listen to this and you're an older brother and you dumb enough to talk crazy on these phones, okay, you keep on. Watch, they'll be right at your damn door. This next story, though, I want y'all to listen to this one because we're not done, highlighting these Alabaster degenerates. I want y'all to check this one out.
Charge after police say he shot his 25-year-old daughter while trying to break up a fight.
Charles Brooks reportedly told investigators he was trying to separate his daughter and her mother when a gun he grabbed went off. Rebecca Brooks did not survive. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke to a friend of the victim.
Now, let me pause this before this gets underway. And salute to the vegan kitchen queen, Miss Ebony Dean, for the cash out. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, beloved. Thank you. Thank you. Listen. I want to give this admonition to my people, okay? And if you're not FB over here, you're on code, because you know you family if you're not FB over here. You're not FB and you're on this platform, y'all already know, man. You in the right place because you on code, all right? Y'all, again, I understand grown people are going to do what they want to do with whoever, but this bastard shot his own daughter, okay? I've said it for years. I'm telling you, whether you're a black man or black woman inside of my voice, FBA, non-FBA. If they will do these things to their own people, don't think you special, okay? This is his daughter. I want you to listen to how this played out and what he said. Check this out.
Peyton.
Stephen, Heather and a neighbor came up to us today, shocked that a shooting would happen at this family's home here in Azle. And we also learned today that when Parker County Sheriff's deputies arrived on scene, they saw a BMW parked in the driveway, driver's side door open, and investigators say Charles Brooks was performing CPR on his daughter.
She was just such a happy person and joyful person and always had the best attitude. Always one who was very adamant about making people feel welcomed.
Photographer Brianna Tucker taking these photos of her friend, 25-year-old Rebecca Brooks. The two on set for photo shoots often, and a friendship blossomed.
An incredible mom, an incredible just person and friend, and just, she never met a stranger. Once I heard especially how it happened, I was sick.
The Parker County Sheriff's Office says 61-year-old Charles Brooks shot and killed his daughter Rebecca during a dispute on Father's Day. Deputies arrived at the home off Antler Ridge Court just before 10 p.m. Sunday. Rebecca Brooks shot once in the chest. She was later pronounced dead. Investigators say Charles Brooks immediately admitted to responding deputies he shot his daughter. Once the Texas Rangers took over, Charles Brooks provided his account. According to an affidavit, he said his wife and daughter were in a fight inside the house in the entryway, and he intervened, trying to separate the two women. Brooks said, quote, he grabbed the 9mm handgun, inserted a loaded magazine, and pulled back and released the slide to load a bullet into the chamber of the gun before going over to attempt to break up the fight between them when the gun went off.
Now, family, normally I wouldn't even cover this because it's in their community, but I'm doing this for a reason. Because if they'll do this to each other, you think they won't do it to us? Now, brothers, let me ask y'all a question. Why would a healthy, able-bodied man need a gun to break up a fight between two women that aren't armed? Who the fuck does that? Your daughter and your wife in a fight, instead of you trying to be the voice of reason or going to physically separate them, you need a gun to do it? Who the fuck thinks like that but these damn degenerates? Do you understand what I'm telling y'all? Is there any brother in here that if you've ever been in that situation, because it happens in families sometimes, people get into arguments and fights. Have you ever had to go get a gun to break up a fight between female family members? I ain't never had to do that. Because usually, especially ain't no weapon involved. Who do that? Why would you even think to do something that way? Now, I'm looking at my chat room. Exactly, Mr. Sam. Nobody at all. Project Nero, no need to do that. A lot of times, man, you can just say something, man, and calm that situation down. And if you can't, you can go and separate them physically without having to get no damn weapon. Oh, but we the ones that can't control ourselves, huh? See, over here on this series, I show them what they really are over here, even in their domestic situations. Let's let it continue.
Charles Brooks, charged with murder, still in the Parker County Jail with a bond set at $2 million. Friends tell Fox 4 News Rebecca leaves behind a young son.
Look at this tiny little woman right here. So you needed a gun to go and stop her from doing something to your wife, and neither one of them are armed. Let's just say you just had to pick up something to intervene in this type of situation, huh? Exactly, Miss Ebony Dean. She says, they say that we have low impulses. Exactly, they're degenerates. Okay, let's just say you did have to use something to separate them. You ain't got no pepper spray or nothing like that. You still wouldn't need that. But I'm just saying, like, a gun though, really? A gun? This woman look like she may be all 125 pounds soaking wet, if that. But he needed a gun to break that up? Yeah, okay. And it's black people, huh? Yeah, see, that's just why they don't like this series.
Praying for her family, and her little boy.
And Parker County also told me today they are not releasing any more information. They have brought in the Texas Rangers, so it's still unclear what led up to the initial altercation and why Charles Brooks grabbed a firearm. They tell me it's still being investigated through interviews.
We're getting more details.
Yep. And there you go. This next story is going to be just as degenerate, if not more so. Brace yourself for this next one. But before I do that, I'm going to do something I rarely ever do over here, right? Because I was telling y'all about how the Patriot Act changed things. Now, let me talk to you, okay? I want y'all to get ready to receive this information because I'm not going to label it. I'm just going to put it in the chat room, but I'm going to tell you what it is, okay? All right? Y'all ready? Get ready to look. Every black parent in here on the sound of my voice, if you got a black child, it'll be or not, it'll be. Get ready to receive this information. I'm going to do something I don't normally do. But because I thought about this, I like, no, this is too important. I'm going to share with you some information that normally I reserve for Patreon. Remember when I was telling you if you have black sons and daughters to let them know not to be talking crazy on these electronic devices? Bookmark this catalog. I'm going to share a file with y'all, okay? All my Patreon subscribers, you know what this is. You've already seen it. I'm going to put this in here a couple of times for you, okay? Do not lose this. If you are black in America, you need to understand what all of these devices in this file are, okay? They are in use today, and some of them have upgraded versions today, all right? Every one of you in here on the sound of my voice, you better save that file I just put in there, okay? A lot of this stuff that's in there, you be like, what the hell is that? It gives a detailed explanation of what each of them things do, okay? So save that file. I'm telling you. And talk to your children. Once you go over it as a black parent, you're going to see why you're going to need to show them things to your children. Like, see, you doing something stupid on this phone? This is how they can find you. stingrays, kingfishers, dirt boxes, all of these different things. You probably like, what the hell is that? That file will explain that and then some in vivid detail, okay? So I'm doing y'all a solid on that. Everybody that's in here, if you black, you better save that file. I put it in there 4 times, all right? This next story here, though, is just as degenerate, if not worse. Some of y'all might have already heard about this, but I want y'all to check this out.
But there's 2 words that investigators keep using, and that's pure evil. And it's because they saw what was inside this house. They're describing what they saw inside this rural home. 16 children in deplorable conditions, in dire need of medical treatment. And now 4 suspects are being charged with 16 counts each, all 4 pleading not guilty. The Ohio Attorney General gave us an update on the case just about an hour ago.
I've done these types of cases for a long time, and I've been in incredibly poverty-stricken areas in the inner city. I've been in poverty-stricken areas in rural Ohio, and I've just never seen anything like I saw today.
Joining me now is Alex Perche and our legal analyst, Brian Buckmeyer. And if you don't mind, guys, if we have the picture of the 4 suspects, because one of the most important things that investigators are trying to do right now is to get any information on these 4.
Look at these heels have eyes looking motherfuckers right here. Especially that one on the bottom right. Boy. Oh, but it's black people, huh? Now, I've heard and I've seen them try to make excuses for the woman on the bottom left. Oh, they coming out with a sob story for, her. Oh, she was taken advantage of when she was a kid and by this older pedophile guy that married her and had a bunch of kids. And the way they had these kids, they were isolated away from society. I've heard reports that they said it was feral. Look, when people be trying to paint white neighborhoods as these perfect utopias and, you got to go here with it. Nah, this is what you putting yourself around. They got all kind of stuff like this going on across this country. And they do this to their own. So this is why I try to show y'all, and y'all are most welcome for that information, man. Y'all are most welcome. I mean, I over here, this is a classroom. I try to give y'all information that y'all can use. Anybody that needs that link, just kind of scroll up in the chat. You should be able to see it. I may drop that file again before the broadcast is over. You know what I'm saying? In fact, when I close, I'll drop it a couple more times for those that's just coming in. Because you need that information. I'm telling you. Better go over there with your children, man, and let them know. Because a lot of times they be thinking, everything's fun and games on this internet. No, it's not. It's not. All right? But these degenerates right here, man, boy. They always trying to talk about single black mothers this, baby daddy this, Chicago that, Chicago. No, what about this? And you notice something? Because I'm going to go here with this. Where the white pastors when these types of stories come out? Because these are not one-offs. This ain't the first time this ever happened. Where the white pastors and preachers coming out telling their whole community they need to do better for the actions of these bastards? Huh? You notice you don't ever see that in their community? So for the Sambos that always coming out, we need to do better. What you mean we? Every black person don't do that and do criminality. Most of us are not criminals. So I just wanted to point that part out. You ain't gonna hear none of their clergy coming out talking about they need to do better, okay? But they damn sure need to. Listen to the rest of this story though.
4 people. This is the Siders family. You've got Elizabeth Siders there with the long dark hair in the corner. Next to her is Gary Siders Sr. Then Christina Siders is the older woman at the top of your screen. And then the younger man is Gary Siders Jr. These are the 4 people that have been arrested. These are the 4 people that the AG and the prosecutor describe as pure evil. They're not going to get anywhere near those 16 children. That's what we're learning now because they are in police custody, all of them being evaluated and checked out. And one of the most disturbing things that the sheriff said, he has seen his livestock treated better than these 16 children. They were found in a 12 by 12 space, surrounded by human feces. He said it was just disgusting. Both of whom, the sheriff and also the attorney general, said they've never seen anything like this in their life. Alex Prochet, the details are horrifying. One thing that did stand out to me, though, the sheriff saying the only joy that we're seeing in this is that we're going to change 16 lives for the better.
Yeah, and listen, I mean that's the only place to kind of go from here if you're law enforcement. But as you mentioned, Kira, I mean this is something that Ohio authorities have called unimaginable. We heard from the state attorney general Andy Wilson, who said this looked like a third world country, that he can't get the smell out of his head. And as you mentioned, the sheriff there for Vinton County said that he had seen livestock kept in better condition than the children inside of those houses, but 16 of them inside. They range in ages from 18 months to 18 years old. They were largely kept in that 12 by 12 area. And we're also told that this is an interfamilial situation. It's not a human trafficking case, according to law enforcement. But 7 of those children had to be taken to Columbus area hospitals. 2 of them were airlifted, and at least 1 child had to be intubated. Police say they actually stumbled upon this situation. They were executing a search warrant in a parallel investigation when they found this house with all those children inside. And as you mentioned, the 4 individuals, Gary Siders Sr., Gary Siders Jr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders, have all pleaded not guilty to the 16 counts against them. And now, Kira, those children are in the process of being placed. And the sheriff says timing was of the essence here because had they waited another 24 hours, they would likely be dealing with a death.
So, Alex, let me ask you, you say they stumbled upon this while they were carrying out another search warrant.
You know what? I'm going to rewind this back. I want y'all to listen to this, okay? I'm going to take this back. I'm going to take it back a little ways. I want y'all to hear this again.
Tucker taking these photos of her friend, 25 bullet into the chamber of the gun.
Of medical treatment. And now 4 suspects are being charged with 16 counts each, all 4 pleading not guilty. The Ohio Attorney General gave us an update on the case just about an hour ago.
I've done these types of cases for a long time, and I've been in incredibly poverty-stricken areas in the inner city. I've been in poverty-stricken areas in rural Ohio, and I've just never seen anything like I saw today.
Joining me now is Alex Prochet and our legal analyst, Brian Buckmeyer. And if you don't mind, guys, if we have the picture of the 4 suspects, because one of the most important things that investigators are trying to do right now is to get any information on these 4 people. This is the Siders family. You've got Elizabeth Siders there with the long dark hair in the corner. Next to her is Gary Siders Sr. Then Christina Siders is the older woman at the top of your screen. And then the younger man is Gary Siders Jr. These are the 4 people that have been arrested. These are the 4 people that the AG and the prosecutor describe as pure evil. They're not going to get anywhere near those 16 children. That's what we're learning now because they are in police custody, all of them being evaluated and checked out. And one of the most disturbing things that the sheriff said, he has seen his livestock treated better than these 16 children. They were found in a 12 by 12 space, surrounded by human feces. He said it was just disgusting. Both of whom, the sheriff and also the attorney general, said they've never seen anything like this in their life. Alex Prochet, the details are horrifying. One thing that did stand out to me, though, the sheriff saying the only joy that we're seeing in this is that we're going to change 16 lives for the better.
Yeah, and listen, I mean that's the only place to kind of go from here if you're law enforcement. But as you mentioned, Kira, I mean this is something that Ohio authorities have called unimaginable. We heard from the state attorney general Andy Wilson, who said this looked like a third world country, that he can't get the smell out of his head. And as you mentioned, the sheriff there for Vinton County said that he had seen livestock kept in better condition than the children inside of those houses, but 16 of them inside. They range in ages from 18 months to 18 years old.
Did y'all hear that? They range in ages from 18 months to 18 years old, man. Separated away from other society and just living in deplorable conditions. This is what they do behind the scenes.
They were largely kept in that 12 by 12 area. And we're also told that this is an interfamilial situation. It's not a human trafficking case, according to law enforcement. But 7 of those children had to be taken to Columbus area hospitals. 2 of them were airlifted, and at least 1 child had to be intubated. Police say they actually stumbled upon this situation. They were executing a search warrant in a parallel investigation when they found this house with all those children inside. And as you mentioned, the 4 individuals, Gary Siders Sr., Gary Siders Jr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders, have all pleaded not guilty to the 16 counts against them. And now, Kira, those children are in the process of being.
Now, let me pause this. You probably saying, what? They pleaded not guilty? Oh, let's talk about that for a minute. Oh, yeah. See, I'm finna remind y'all why they hate this Children of the Chalk series. Remember what I told you about when we say the word normal? Well, to them, this is normal behavior. This is their normal. They don't think that there's nothing wrong with that. See, when you hear me use terms like Neander savages, and this is what I'm talking about. Filthy, degenerate, incest practicing, pedophiles, all types of degeneracy. They try to associate that stuff with us, but we don't live like this. Even if you go to an elderly black person's home, you know the one rule that's universal in foundational black American freedom culture. Hey, even if you poor, you can be clean. We don't play that, and we don't mistreat our kids like that. Are there one-off stories where things happen? Sure, but that's not the norm in our culture, in our community. And see, I played that back. I took it back because I want y'all to really, I want this part of this broadcast to stick, okay? I want it to stick. Because they always talking about the state of the black family structure. Ask yourself, look, I got to go here. When you look at a lot of the crimes that they commit, the builders, what kind of homes you think they came up in? Oh, I'm going there. Yes, I am, damn it. Yes, I am. Do you think that these degenerates didn't come up in similar conditions like this? Because, see, if you were treated inhumane by those that raised you, how much more likely is it going to be that you're going to grow up to be some inhumane, uncivilized mutt, like a Chud the Builder? Yeah, I said it. And you hear a lot of us clowning them and joking about them growing up in trailer parks. Oh, that here different because that's their reality for real. See, a lot of the tether class, they seem to think that all white people in the Western Hemisphere in America are rich and living these fabulous, glorious lives. Man, you better look at Owsley County, Kentucky. Oh, and that's just one place. I can name you several where all these people are. Look, we live far better than they do. Why they always talking about projects and hood shit. I know some black people in projects live far better than this. Far better than this. So sometimes you have to put these types of stories in front of them and remind them of who they really are. Let's let it continue.
Place, and the sheriff says timing was of the essence here because had they waited another 24 hours, they would likely be dealing with a death.
So, Alex, let me ask you, you say they stumbled upon this while they were carrying out another search warrant. Were they carrying out a search warrant on this home? Was it tied to these family members?
So that search warrant was related to a parallel investigation, but Kira, that is it's a fascinating question. It's an important question, but right now authorities have been pretty kind of cagey about what actually tipped them off, what this parallel investigation entails, or why that particular house was highlighted by law enforcement. It's something that we still don't yet know. The other thing that I would say is for that community, it was actually a shock that children were even inside of that house. We've heard from neighbors and even law enforcement repeated this afternoon that a lot of folks didn't even know that the Siders had kids. That is how tightly they kept a grasp on these 16 children. Authorities saying that was also an indicator that they knew that they were doing something wrong here.
All right, so Brian, gosh, I mean, how do you even defend for people like this? I guess that's one question I have for you as a defense attorney, but also what charges do these 4 individuals face? I mean, I don't think anybody, if they, are, we have to say alleged crimes right now, but they were found in the home with these kids. They're behind bars. The AG, the prosecutor, they've seen the evidence. What's going to happen to these 4 people?
Yeah, so Kara, so A lot to unpack there, but I'll do it like this. They are charged with multiple counts. It was called child endangerment in the second degree in the state of Ohio. That's punishable by 2 to 8 years in prison. And I don't imagine there will be a judge who's going to say, you know what, we'll run these charges concurrently, meaning at the same time. I could see a judge saying for each and every one of those children, we're going to have some amount of prison time. So if you do the math, you're really looking at not 2 to 8 per charge. You're looking at 16 to 128 years in prison, depending on how the judge wants to stack these charges. When it comes to defending, we as defense attorneys, we compartmentalize. I understand how horrible these allegations are, not just as a defense attorney myself, but also as a father. But the way that we do it is everyone deserves their opportunity in court to make the argument. It depends on whose house this is. Who has mail going to the house? Were some of these people merely visiting and simply were there at the wrong place and the wrong time? What was their knowledge of what was going on in that home? And what I can imagine is the first person, and I say the first person because there probably will be a first person. The first person to speak to prosecutors and give up information and hope for a better deal is going to find himself in a much better place than the other three.
Let me ask you, Brian, real quickly, because you just mentioned something, and I can give you a bit of information, and that the home's ownership is listed to a trustee whose name is not among the 4 people that have been charged. This is information that our producers were able to get. It's reportable. Apparently, as of 2025, the total assessment valuation for the property was $68,670. You saw the condition of this home, but ownership listed to a trustee whose name is not among the 4 people charged. Apparently, they've been living in this home for 4 years.
Yeah, and so I think a big thing is going to be talking to the community, right? Talking to neighbors. Who did you see coming in and out of their home? How often? What was their schedule? We've heard reporting that people didn't even know there were children in that home or to the extent of how many children there were there. And who is moving in and out of there, bringing groceries, picking up things, dropping off things? That's going to be a big part of the prosecution because the defense is going to try to wiggle their way out of this and saying, I didn't know what was going on. But this is a home that, from my understanding, had 5 rooms, not 5 bedrooms, but 5 rooms, and was 1,300 square feet. You're not going to miss 16 children there. And so make the arguments that you want, but I think this is a very difficult case for the defense and probably should be if these allegations are in fact true.
And as you heard the sheriff, 16 kids living in a 12 by 12 space. It's heart-wrenching. Brian Buckmeyer, Alex Brochet, we're going to stay on this story, of course.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I started this Children of the Chalk series as a mirror to hold it up to white supremacist America, what they really are. And this is why they hate it. And if anything happened to this broadcast, you'll be able to find it on Patreon because, boy, they hate this series, okay? Or do they ever hate it? But it's the truth, though. It's the truth. That last story definitely is how a lot of them live across this country. Do not be fooled. Especially for the tether class over here. You thinking that all of them are living these rich, luxurious lifestyles. That is not the case by leaps and bounds, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope all of you learned something here tonight. Did you learn something? Did you learn something? And on that note, speaking of learning something, just in case anybody didn't, I'm going to put this cell phone surveillance device list in here. Yet again, this file is very, very important. For most foundational Black Americans or non-FBA people that have sense, you need to familiarize yourself with this link that I'm putting in the chat room 4 times. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, good. I'm glad to see my people learning something. And if you're new here, go through my archives. Check out all the series over here on the playlist section of the channel. Consider joining the Patreon because a lot of stuff that I couldn't go into detail over here tonight. And that particular file, you will find a wealth of information over there that you can't find anywhere else. Rare books that are out of print, stuff they don't want you to have, that you should have, okay? Or a lot over there. We're going to be cooking over there on Patreon in the next coming days because I'm announcing it yet again so you all will know. I'm going to go into detail about David Carroll. I have a series over there that's going to be addressing his insanity. He's deceased. But you need to know where a lot of those Black manosphere guys got their talking points and why they considered him the first godfather of the manosphere, okay? Again, that series is exclusive to Patreon. I'm going to put it all over there where I can address everything in one place. That way, if you need to know and you over there, you can just reference that and you'll have all the information you need, okay? But that said, please protect your family at all costs. Protect yourself at all costs. Stay on code. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Salute to you, Black first, and I will see you all in future content.